Hi guys. Well, today I wanted to share with you a story. It's not a story, it's a real thing that happened to me. Um, Let me take you back to January 22nd, 2006. That night, actually, I went to bed January 21st, right? And then somewhere around 2, 3 in the morning, I was sound asleep, minding my own business. When I suddenly was awoken, I heard some really strange music in my room. It was like something I'd never heard before, but it was something really different. But it was music and it woke me up. Well, my first thought was that my neighbor kid across the street was coming home late in the morning, blaring his car stereo and just making all kinds of noise. So when I woke up, I was very, very agitated, not in a good mood. So, anyway, so I woke up and the music stopped and I was sitting up in bed. So as I sat up in bed, I looked around my room, and there to my right was Jesus. He was full color, full size. It was like a 3D hologram was in my room. It was like 3D hologram. There's Jesus. Ta-da! And he was standing there. He wasn't touching the floor. He was up probably about, I would say about 1.5 feet, 2 feet, something like that, above my floor, and his feet were all covered in clouds. He was like standing in clouds. And the way that he was standing, it was like he had his arms out like this, like welcome, just welcome. And he was staring straight ahead. He wasn't even looking at me, he was just staring straight ahead. And he didn't say a word, not a word. And so I was looking at him, and he was beautiful. And I could see his face. I could see some of the little hairs, like for his chin, like little beard, chin thing going on. Little mustache. And his hair was only right to his shoulders. It was just right to his shoulders. It wasn't past his shoulders. It was just like right down his shoulders. And it was dark brown. And he was wearing a pure white robe with the most beautiful sky blue mantle or outer robe, outer garment, whatever they call it, over him. But like I said, his feet were in the clouds. And the clouds, to one side, they were really pretty, bright, bright white. Pretty, 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 white, 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 white. And they got almost to the other side of him, and they started getting dark. And they were dark, 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 stormy, like stormy dark, like thunder clouds. And there was this orange light that was in the cloud. And my eye kept, because this is the middle of the night, pitch black in my room, pitch dark, and I see this orange glow coming through the cloud, kind of like a sunset or a fire, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And the only light that was in the room was him. The whole thing of he's the light of the world? Well, he was the light of my bedroom. And he was pretty well lit up. Anyways, so he was there in my room. And there was another thing in my room that I saw, but I'm not really ready to talk about that yet. I didn't know for about a year what it was, but then once I figured it out, once I was told what it was, I've kind of kept it to myself a little bit. I don't really like to tell people. I don't want to freak people out. But anyways, so he came, and it took a long time for me to figure things out. But I thought, you know what? There's a message here. I think I better get myself back to church. So that I did. Got myself back to church, got my kids in church, got them baptized, went through all the religious training, and my husband even got baptized. and we all ended up going back to church. So everybody went back to church. So, but I didn't know till much later that the date that he appeared to me, January 22nd, 2006, turned out to be the 33rd anniversary of Roe v. Wade. And of course, as we all know, our Lord Jesus was 33 years old when he was crucified. So, but that became the very beginning, or continuation beginning, of more things to come. Jesus doesn't just come to you and then, oh, that's it, end of show. No. It opens you up, and a lot of spiritual things happen after that. A lot of things. I will tell you that 2 nights later, and this really freaked me out, but 2 nights later, after Jesus appeared to me, I was in bed, sound asleep, minding my own business, sound asleep, when suddenly I felt something at the side of my bed that kind of woke me up. And I woke up and I looked over to the side, and it looked like my daughter, who at the time would have been 6 years old. It looked like my daughter wearing her nightgown. So I was like half asleep, and I just kind of saw her, and I said, "What's the matter, sweetie?" And I said, "Why don't you just crawl in bed? Just crawl in bed with me, just come to bed." So I turned over. And then a few moments later, I noticed, well, she didn't come to bed, so I turned back over and I said, "Hey," and I poked her, poked her right here. She's standing on the side of my bed and I'm poking her. And it was hard and it was solid. And I said, "Just crawl into bed." And then I turned over and I went to sleep. Well, the next morning I got up, I went to my daughter's bedroom and I said, "Hey," I said, "what was with you last night? Why didn't you come to bed?" And she said, "What are you talking about? I've been, in my room all night. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything." And then when I got to thinking about it, and I didn't want to think about it, but when I got to thinking about it, it was like, wait a minute. That was like a little girl standing next to my bed. And she really had no eyes. She just had kind of dark spots. And her face was kind of like really weird, and her mouth was like really not there. So it kind of creeped me out. So I don't know if it was some soul looking for help to go wherever, or if it was a demon that was dressed like my daughter. All these years later, I really don't know, and I really don't care, because I don't want to know. I don't ever want to see it again. That creeped me out completely, because it was like, okay, I guess it means, okay, Jesus comes to you, and then all the creepy people follow behind, right? So, anyways, so that's my story for that. And that, like I said, that was January 22nd, 2006. So, I have a lot more to come, a lot more little short stories, but I want to keep these little clips short so I don't bore anybody. So, if you have any comments or anything, feel free to leave a comment. Anyways, so that's it. Divine Mercy 43, signing out.